I think it is. I think it is. Good afternoon, everybody on Facebook Live. Dave Allen and Live Copter 3 over Folsom Lake this afternoon. Welcome to the American River Tour. And the newsroom's calling me. Let me just get on with them for a second. Unit 2, go ahead. Copy, thanks. So they're just letting me know in about 5 minutes, actually, about 2 minutes now, I'm going to be on the air. So let's get going. Right there, the American River right there. We've just crossed Folsom Dam. The lake low right now, but they're expecting a lot of runoff, so that's kind of what that's set up for. So I'm going to take the helicopter kind of low down into the river here, and we're going to head for Folsom, go over the bridge there, and head off to the bike trail and check out the rock slide that's kind of been blocking that trail ever since the rains hit. So Mike's on the camera. Let's hit you up with the nose camera. We can take a look at the lower river levels right now as we head towards the Folsom area. Perfect day for this. Looks like it's going to be a really pretty trip. So this should take us about half an hour, maybe a little bit longer. So we're going to kind of blast through here. And when we see some really cool things, we'll stop and turn the helicopter around and take a closer look at them for you. But we figure a lot of folks probably heading out to the river for this weekend since the weather's going to be so awesome. So we kind of wanted to do this tour and let everybody see what it's looking like. So about 1 minute until we go live on the air. We're also doing the 4 p.m. news right now, so you're going to hear my reports from that. So, Mike, the rock slide's right there, but it's in the shade, so you might have to zoom in. It's going to be to our right out the window here, out my window. 1 minute to live. We're going to hang out over the rock slide on the bike trail, so it's right in there, Mike. It's kind of hard to see unless we get really close up on there. There you go. So let's just stay on that rock slide while we do the live shot. And I'm going to start with the interior camera really quick while we talk to Lisa and Edie. $30. So off air's coming up. Get the lighting just right. So welcome on Facebook Live. We're about to go live on the air for the 4 o'clock news. Standing by. A lot of fun. You know, I'm up in the helicopter today with a whole bunch of my friends, Facebook friends that is, and we started at Folsom Lake and we've been coming down here. And I want to show you one of the things that we're going to be able to take a look at this afternoon. There's the rock slide over the bike trail right there, right here in Folsom. So that's still there. That's got kind of that trail closed right there. So I don't think people are going to be able to participate in the trail right here, and they kind of frown on it if you walk over those rocks. But we'll keep you posted on how soon that's going to be cleared up and everything as the year wears on, because that looks like a lot of work. We saw that. So let's head down to Natomas Lake now, everybody. Lake Natoma. I called it Natomas Lake, didn't I? I used to live in Natomas, so Natomas rolls off the tongue so easy. So we're going to traverse about 30 miles or so. I think 30.6 is actually the official distance as we head down toward Lake Natoma. Remember, the Natoma company was the first power company here, and they put the Folsom Powerhouse in here in 1895, and they ran lines 22 miles into town, and that was pretty much to power the streetcar system back then. Now we've got Lake Natoma here, and this looks great. Now we got already the crew is out here, and they're doing, you know, pretty standard. They're doing all of their crew practice, crew races that they do out here. Got a great look at those. Excellent kayaking in here, and the water is down enough now that you can get back into all of those little places that are kind of fun to go through, all those canals that are back up in here into the park to the north of the lake. And we give position reports here when the police are calling and everything and saying where everybody is. 3TV over Lake Natoma, 900 feet following the river westbound. So here we are at the park. A lot of debris. Let's take a look at that debris right there, Mike, right behind the lake down to the right side. Right to the right side of the dam. Yeah, see all the logs backed up there? Pan right some more. See that right there? Yeah, tilt down there. So a lot of debris backed up in there. I know the sun's reflecting off the water right now, but as I move the helicopter around, we'll get past that. But that is a lot of junk they've got to clear out there. And you can see there's a crane on top of the dam that's probably helping do that, but I don't know that for sure. So we're going to head down over the fish hatchery next and head out towards our next stop. Let's take a look at all the parks as we go down. I'm going to try to stay on the south side of the river here so we don't get that water reflection going on. And now I get to go ahead and call Mather Tower and let them know that we're going to be going through their airspace as we follow the river. Mather Tower, helicopter 3TV. Hey, I'm just over Lake Natoma, going to be following the river pretty much low level towards the west. $3010 Eventually, yes. $5302 for 3TV. Yeah, I'm going to follow this all the way to Discovery Park. So off we go. I've got my clearance to get through their airspace now, and you heard me say a couple of things. They give me an altimeter setting. That's something that all the airplanes do, so we're all on essentially the same sheet of music. It's really just a barometer setting. And then he gave me another code, which is a squawk code of 5302. And once I have one of those, that kind of means that you folks who follow on all of those aviation kind of apps can actually find me and find where I am. So if you have one of those aviation apps that track aircraft, you can probably look me up right now. I know Mark Finan likes to follow me that way whenever he can. So here's the walking bridge. Well, actually, this is kind of the pedestrian bridge right here at Sunrise, but as we go over here, then we'll go over Sunrise. But wow, I want to give everyone a look down the river at that sun, but I'm looking right down here at the walking bridge, and this is pretty amazing. So the river was going over this when it was high, so it was washing over it. So I'm going to kind of turn the helicopter around a little bit, get on the back side of it, and we can get a shot of how low the river is now in comparison. So there's Mike's camera again. So we're going to come right around here. There's the skid of the helicopter. I'll get that out of your way. But now we can see how much further down the river is. The river was going over this, and so you can still see that there's a lot of mud off the top of that. This is not going to be open this weekend because they still have to clean it up and do some repairs on it after the water washed over the top there. But you remember during the drought, I mean, this thing was way up in the air. But that shouldn't mean you can't get on that trail, and the Jedediah bike trail. And I'm seeing a lot of folks on bicycles there. I'm kind of looking down the trail right now looking for some bikers. There's a couple there. They're in the trees, though, Mike. Got the sun reflecting in my eyes right now. Did you get some bikers on there, Mike? I can't quite see. I haven't found them yet. Well, let's keep going over to the San Juan Rapids over there to the right. Just follow the river down around. The rapids are out, so keep going around to the right. We'll be able to see them over there. Keep going. That's the first set. And then when we get to the next bend, that's the San Juan Rapids. So over to the right more. See, Mike's in a black box back there, so I can be evil to him and tell him anything, and he has to do it. So he has a very small window, and where we're looking right now is actually on the other side of the helicopter from him. Two and a half to me. We'll see where we are when that time comes. So remember, overall, the American River is really known for its whitewater rafting. Everybody knows that. The South Fork, I did not know this, has Class 3 rapids. The Middle Fork has Class 4, and the North Fork has Class 4 as well. But all of the rivers have Class 2 sections, so this is really fun. And it's just beautiful to raft on. And from what I understand, the most popular river for whitewater rafting in the state of California. But, you know, here you just kind of have those floating down kind of rafts that you can get from the raft company here and spend a nice afternoon just floating down the river. It's still moving pretty well. I don't really know if they're going to be having the rafts out this weekend, but you can give them a call. I think it's the American Raft Company. But you know this water's going to be super cold. So unless you're really into super cold water, polar bearing probably not like the best time to go swimming. About a minute. Let's we're going to backtrack a little bit and go on the air and look at the San Juan Rapids. Just call them that. Let's see. I want to see what side that's on. You call it Rancho Cordova. I'm pretty sure the north side of the river's that. Standing by. Well, you know, all of the American rivers, we were just talking about that on Facebook Live, all of the American rivers have great rapids and great rafting. Now, of course, up here we kind of use those smaller rafts and more float, but you get this exciting section right here at the San Juan Rapids right near Rancho Cordova, and then you just kind of get to float out the rest of the river. But we're also thinking, I bet you that river's going to be plenty cold and moving pretty fast still, so I'm not sure how many people will be into polar bearing this weekend. Copy, clear. Weather in 2.5. We'll see how far we can get down. Might be able to get down, probably be at halfway to Sac State. What do you think, Mike? So we're following the river, following the Jedediah Smith bike trail. I saw a lot of people on bikes yesterday, and I'm not seeing as many today as I was seeing yesterday. So we're right next to Ansel Hoffman Park. Mike, you can kind of go out to the right and see the park and the golf course out there. Definitely you want to head out and get some golfing in if you're a golfer. Well, if you're not, good weekend to try, right? All of the golf courses around, I've been flying over them all week, and they are all in just fantastic shape. So the rain has been kind. Now I'm starting to see the cyclists down here on the trail as we get closer to the cycle bridge here. So I can see some folks crossing the cycle bridge right now. A little bit about the Jedediah Smith Memorial Trail. 32 miles long, that's 51K. Hugs the riverbank from Folsom Lake to Old Sac. It was named for Jedediah Smith and his men who camped along the river and its banks back in the 1820s. About 30 seconds back to air. Let's follow some bikes on the trail, Mike. You just find a bike and follow it so we can keep going towards Discovery Park. Keep going towards Discovery. There were, and we saw some of that debris from the hillside back there near Folsom. But down here, kind of, you know, a little bit lower into the river. We're starting to see a lot more cyclists along the Jedediah Memorial Trail. And boy, you know, I sure am glad for the 70s. How long is this going to last, Eileen? Copy clear. Okay, so we're right over Rivera Park. Mike, I'm gonna turn the helicopter around here a little bit. We're gonna kind of look down there so I can see some fishermen down off to our right. So I'm gonna turn here and go west a little bit. And we can see the boat launch off to our right here. Back to your camera. There you are. The boat launch is looking good out there. We can see some of the fishermen have got their boats down there. A lot of fish in this river. Two of my favorites, Chinook salmon, steelhead trout. I love that steelhead trout. So we'll continue on down. I'm kind of behind here. I want to get going. Let's blast down to Howe. See the Howe boat ramp. So we're heading down to the Howe Avenue access right now. You heard me talk about Jedediah Smith a little bit ago. Jedediah Smith led an expedition along the river here. They were trying to find a safe route across the Sierra. And they didn't quite make it through the South Fork, but they did manage to cross over at Ebbets Pass, and that's the Stanislaus River. And when they did make it over, it actually got them some notoriety, and that's when they actually changed the name of this river to Rio de los Americanos, American River. And about the time that was all going on, Alta California was part of New Spain, so the Spanish were kind of awarding Jedediah Smith and his party by renaming it the American River. And now this is the main source of our water in the Sacramento area. We have Folsom Dam up there that helps protect us against flooding. So there's Howe Avenue, a little bit of a traffic report for you. They're just slow because the light just turned green, so things are picking up there. Let's take a look at Howe Avenue access. It's off to our front. And it's looking good. That's looking good for getting your boats launched down there. And we moved on past Howe Access. Taking a look at Sac State now. The Guy West Bridge over there. So that bike trail eventually gets you here. A lot of folks enjoying things here. Time for me to switch over now to Executive Tower. And I've got to go ahead and give them my radio call. So we'll kind of take a look at the Guy West Bridge while we're doing all that. Airspace is really busy today because the weather's so great, so there's a lot of airplanes flying. And Friday's typically busy. It's kind of rush hour for planes out there. Exec Tower 3 TV over Sac State, 900 feet following the river towards downtown, and I have a squawk set up at 5302. .3008 3TV. Again, that's the altimeter they're giving me, my barometer setting, so I know that I'm on the same sheet of music with all of the other pilots out there. About 1:30 to a bump shot. So you know what we're going to do? We're kind of going to go head low level along the river with my exterior camera here. We're just about to go right by Cal Expo here. Campus Commons Golf Course right there. And as I come around the corner here, I'm going to go low level, and then we're just going to kind of brush down the river a little bit at 500 feet and give them an exciting shot back at the 4 p.m. news. So here we go. Just kind of get a flicker as the sun just shines directly into that camera, but when I turn a little bit, that'll go away. And we're 30 seconds to being live on the air. Okay, next river hit is in about 4 minutes. We're going to be at Discovery Park. We're just passing Sutter's Landing right now. As a matter of fact, I can see the KCRA tower out off to our left. So let's go back to Mike's camera and see where we are going along the parkway. Had to kind of cheat for a minute there because that sun was going to hit that camera when we went on the air. So coming up on Discovery Park, Mike, I'm going to show everyone how off to the right there that it's still flooded here. So don't expect Discovery Park to be open. As Mike goes to the left, you can see the road still underwater there on the east half of the park. It's something I noticed yesterday as we get to the main part of the park. There's a lot of mud. All that, it looks like pavement. That's all the mud from when the park was underwater, so they've got a lot of cleanup to do before they open that up. But there's plenty of places along the river you can still go. Plenty of beaches, plenty of trails to get out on and enjoy this fabulous weather that we're having this weekend. And for the next week, as a matter of fact, it's that 70s show all week. 77 on Monday, if I heard Tamara Berg right this morning. And the boat launch still pretty much underwater right there. So it'll be a while before we're putting boats in the water over here. But it looks like the West Sacramento boat launch is looking good. Less than 2 minutes to the next hit. So we're going to cheat off the American River real quick for those of you on Facebook. Take a quick look at the West Sacramento boat launch. See how that's looking over there. We're going to be at Discovery Park. Yeah, this boat launch isn't looking bad down here. It's down to our right. Have to find out for sure if it's open or not. Looks like it could be. But let's go ahead and head back to Discovery Park now that we're over here in West Sacramento. We want to stick to the American River. I sure would like to thank everybody for flying along with me in Live Copter 3 today. If I punch up the right camera, then you get to see me. So, Dave Allen in Live Copter 3, thanks for joining us on Facebook. Copy less than 30.